tell us a bit about yourself?
Oh, yeah. So my screen name is Ro-taniah, but my name is Jessica. Go by Jess. It doesn't really matter to me. Just throw one of those things at me and I'll be like, hey, what's up? So do you want to know more about me, like, personally, or just, like, my art stuff?
If you're comfortable, I would like to know a little bit more about you personally.
Like a little bit more about the person behind the comic.
Yeah, definitely. So, again, my name's Jess. I go by Ro. I've gone by the screen name Ro-taniah for, like, Tumblr days. Born in Georgia. I live here in Virginia now, at the Northern Virginia area. I've always loved art. I remember I always loved anime as well. My goal when I was a kid was to be a manga artist and a fashion designer. That's what I wanted to do. I was super obsessed with anime. I was like an emo kid, so we love to see that too. Went through school. I actually went to college for art. So I actually have a Bachelor of Fine Art and Studio Art with a concentration in painting drawing. The longest degree name ever. I graduated in 2020, so I was a pandemic grad, so love that. Still never had my graduation. It's okay. I have my very expensive piece of paper. My main job is not art related. I actually work as a supervisor in the fraud department at a major financial institution. That is my primary job and my primary focus, and I do all this art on the side. I've always wanted to make comics. I've always had the idea for both Star Children and also the Exorcist bracelet. The Exorcist bracelet, those characters are literally my first ever OCs. Like, they were my Naruto OCs, okay? From like 2007. Wow. So yeah, Amy and Ryder, they're literally first ever OCs I created. I made Cheru is how you pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cheru, that's how you pronounce it. I made him back in like 8th grade in my algebra class. I remember the day I drew him. I'm like, oh, he's a cute little star boy. I wonder what I'm gonna live. While I was in college, meeting all these other cool artists, being near all these other creative people really helped me out a lot. And then I started getting like 6 million ads about Lore Olympus on Webtoon, on like Facebook and stuff like that. All right, I really like the style. It's very painterly. And again, I was, my concentration was painting and drawing. So I was classically trained in oil painting. So I was like, okay, I really like this. So I finally downloaded the app, I read it, and I'm like, oh, people post their comics here? So I started going through the Canvas side of everything, and I started reading a couple of Canvas series. I'm like, these people can just post here? Like, what? How do you do that? I was just in college. It was like 2019 and stuff like that. I was in my senior year. I just kept looking at it. I Googled, how do you post on Webtoon? And I saw, like, you just do it through the website, not through the app. I'm like, okay, bet. I started planning out. I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this before I graduate. I want to just go ahead and just throw my story out there. So I had already made a version of the prologue for Star Children and put it on my Instagram before. And I'm like, you know what? I can make better. But I didn't know how to make comics. I just looked at how other people did it. I'm like, I'm going to just jerry rig this, right? So I'm just going to throw it here and just hope for the best. And that's what I ended up doing. I showed it to all of my classmates. They're like, hey, Jessica, this looks really, really cool. And I'm like, bet. Then I finally posted it onto Webtoon. I posted just the prologue of it, and then I quickly realized that I should have more than just one single episode created before I started. I also realized that, hey, you should really like plan out the plot a little bit more before you just throw yourself into it. But I'm like, it's fine. Oh God, I was 23. I'm 27. I just turned 27. I'm basically vomited into like the canvas, be like, here you go, guys. But then, I started posting it. It was getting, a decent amount of subscribers, which was really cool because I literally didn't have a following anywhere. I did have a decent following on Tumblr back when it was still the main thing, but I had stopped posting due to personal reasons. On like Instagram, I had like maybe like 300 followers, and I would post a lot of Steven Universe fan art. So it was really cool to see like so many people start to subscribe and like to my comic and, comment on it too, when I really didn't had a following, which was so cool. I got put into like the fresh picks on the recommendation a lot with Webtoon. And I remember the first time I got one of the smaller recommended, I remember getting that one when it was the episode that Stella first got her little appearance grandparents. I remember that very first image and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. So it was like the roaring 20s, like literally and figuratively for Webtoons like in that year. So my subscriber count went from like 5K to like 40K. I remember it was like sometime in June, one of the Canvas people actually reached out to me. They're like, hey, we're going to have a Canvas day and we would really like to promote Stir Children. Can we have a banner for you? Can you give us some art to use? And I'm like over here like hyperventilating, like, oh my God, like this is so cool. So I gave it that, and it was I think it was like July of 2020 is when I got my first ever little banner for like the front page. And I remember going from like 40K to like 70K in like 2 days. And I'm like, how did this happen? Wow. So it was really cool. And then I just kept posting it. But yeah, I really like both my stories. I definitely have a favorite right now, but that's just because I enjoy drawing that one a little bit more. So that's just because I have the plot way more planned out than the other one, but I have the other one planned out way better now, and it's back from hiatus, if that makes it any clear which one's my favorite, which one's not right now. I do really enjoy my stories. I really enjoy my characters. They do mean a lot to me. I did put a lot of myself into the characters, especially for Star Children. Like every single one of them has a lot of me in them. Nexus's bracelet. Ryder's my internal monologue, honestly. Like all of his panic is just me, but like in character form. Go on tangent, sorry about that, but yeah.
No. It's actually magic. Right, hearing you going on a tangent is magic. It's what we want to hear. I actually thought that you were very close to Maria. I'm surprised that you said that you were close to Ryder. Yeah.
Well, Ryder right now was my internal monologue. Maria definitely is me. It's very much, that's just me in a character. I didn't try to make her a self-insert OC. That was not my intention, but when like writing her personality, it was just so much easier to just kind of make her like me in a way. Yeah. When it comes to like my optimism, like, or my at least try to be optimistic about a lot of things. Yeah. Because she's my sunflower girl, my little sunshine.
What made you think of giving her a heart condition? Did you have to give her like something sad because she's just so sunshine?
Oh, well, first off, you always have to give your characters a little bit of trauma. Me personally, I did not have a heart condition. I did have a childhood illness though. I did have skin cancer growing up as a kid, but that has been rectified and I no longer have it. I just have a little bit of a scar on my nose from it. But I can relate to her like that. It's more so like my family has a history of heart conditions. My dad, he's actually adopted, so I have no idea what his medical history is like. Up until recently, I was actually able to find my paternal grandparents, or at least the father's side, and I was able to realize, hey, yeah, no, heart condition is actually a thing that runs in my family. It's also something I've always been interested in. So if I didn't go into art, if I wasn't so passionate about art, I actually would have gone into the sciences. My brain is much more science and math based, which is ironic. You love art because you would think you're more into history and languages. No. Brain does not work like that. But I actually was going to go into like genetic biology and stuff like that because I really love genetics. I really love biology. I really love science in general. And I did a lot of papers on heart conditions. So I did one of those in college because I did go to community college right after high school because I had a lot of college credits. I wanted to do my associate's degree first to save money because I was working 2 full-time jobs and also a full-time student while trying to make comics. So I saved myself some money by doing that, and then that's when I went to my actual art degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, long-winded answer, but that's why.
No, that's actually a very good answer if you ask me.
You don't have a team behind the scenes, anyone help with the scripts or anything?
Recently, I had my one friend help me with the flat color for 2 of my odes of the Exorcist bracelet, but that's only because I got married and bought a house in the same week. Wow. And I was so busy of not only having to, obviously, I purchased a home, so there's a lot of things that to do that to actually buy a house, and then follow up of buying a house, like having to buy appliances and having to buy curtains and curtain rods, which I didn't think I was gonna have to do, but I had to do, and also get married. So I had my bachelorette party, I had my rehearsal dinner, and then having to move out of my old house, move into my new one, set everything up, decorate it, and make sure that my dog is comfortable as well. So it took me like 3 weeks to get all this done, and I didn't have a single day where I just relaxed. I had a squeeze in time to actually draw in those 3 weeks. So I reached out to my one really good comic friend. Their nickname is Rabbit. I love them so much. They really helped me out a lot during that that time. They colored lean like 60 to 100 panels for me, but usually in general, no, I've done everything by myself. I'll have my husband maybe proofread for me, because again, English is not a good thing. I'm so bad at grammar. I'm so bad at spelling. I just kind of regurgitate dialogue and my thing, and I'm like, does this sound okay? But no, usually everything else is 100% on my own.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations on the marriage.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm very, very excited about that, to finally, because we've been engaged for about over 2 years at this point. We got engaged in 2021, so finally did get married. It was like, oh, thank God, I don't have to keep saying my fiance. I could just say husband now and just go from there. And now I don't have to have any big monetary payments anymore, because buying a house and getting married the same week, that hurt my pockets just a little bit. I'm going to be eating ramen for a while, so it's all good now, though.
I remember reading about you saying you got engaged, and
and
later on is when I saw, oh, they're married now.
We got together in 2018, so we've been together for about 5 years now, so like half of our relationship was being engaged. So it works out. I mean, my husband's really awesome. He really likes learning about my stories too. Like, I like to just throw ideas at him. His absolute favorite character is Nathan from the Exorcist bracelet.
Oh, really?
I throw any ideas at him. He's like, you better not hurt my boy. I'm like, I'm gonna hurt him. I'm making him tragic, like, you monster.
That thing seems so scary. Of course something bad is gonna happen to Nathan.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I've kind of foreshadowed a couple of things with him, like it's suddenly coughing and stuff like that, and him seeming to have no like respect for his own health.
No.
So I'm actually drawing episode 37 of the Exorcist bracelet right now. So episode 36, something really bad happens, which I'm very, very excited about.
Oh, dear.
And then episode 37 is gonna be a follow-up with that. And then episode 38 is actually gonna be a backstory for Nathan. So we're actually gonna see what his backstory is, and it's very exciting. I'm very excited for this new demon art group that we have up. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that is exciting. I love backstories, and especially on Nathan. Actually, personally, he is one of my best. So
I love writing him because it's just the amount of sarcasm and sassy as, and the fact that I am able to break the fourth wall with him and it just works. Yeah, I love it. Most fun thing ever is being able to do anything with Megami and Nathan together, because they're able to break the fourth wall and I can do like fun things. So I love that kind of stuff.
Okay, so that wraps up part 1. Part 2 releases this week, so make sure to turn on that bell button. Bye, PM fam.